Let's turn now. We're joined by Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney of New York, who will be the next chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Congressman, it's good to see you. Congratulations on your election to head up the Dccc. So what is your assessment of what happened on the House side? We've been talking about the presidential election. Didn't win many of those toss-up races, did Democrats, that you had hoped to win. Certainly didn't pick up all the seats that some were projecting you to pick up. So what happened from your point of view?
Yeah, that's an important question. And I think the honest answer is we don't really know, but I know how to find out. And there's a lot of opinions out there, and some of them are informed, and they probably all have some validity. And, you know, I've been here before. I've had to look at an election and learn the lessons and do it in a rigorous way. That's what I'm going to do. And so I think I'm going to keep my powder dry on this. But look, you know, we're going to hold this majority and do better. And there are going to be lessons to learn. And one of them is that when your opponents are lying and caricaturing an issue as important as racial justice, we need to figure out a way to keep fighting for racial justice, but be smart and effective when they throw the kitchen sink at us. I get that. I'm in a Trump district. I have to play on the other side of the chessboard, and a lot of our members need to do that. And we're going to learn some lessons, and we're going to patch things up, and we're going to hold this majority.
I think you, Congressman, were on that caucus phone call a few weeks ago that was reported out by many people that some of the more moderate members, who some won re-election, some didn't, were pretty upset about a national message about socialism and defunding the police. And as you said, that caricature being applied to all Democrats who were running. So how do you overcome a national message from Republicans and, frankly, from Donald Trump that seems to have swamped the sort of race by race, district by district messages?
Yeah, so let's just be precise. When you say a national message from Republicans, what we're talking about is a bunch of lies and distortions and demagoguery about an issue as important as the murder of George Floyd, and whether some of us think we should do something about that, and whether they're willing to play short-term political games with something that important. And if that worked to get them a couple of seats, well, shame on them. But I'm proud of my team, the blue team, for standing up for racial justice. And if we need to be reminded that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us, well, those of us in red seats who beat Republicans don't find that surprising. And the skill and the art of this game is to stand up for the right thing, to do something with the authority and the opportunity we're given, but be smart about it, build a real coalition, a relationship with our voters, so that when the lies and the distortions come, ordinary folks out there can say, that doesn't sound right.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.